April showers about as well. Welcome to Scotland in the spring. Italy under Fabio Rosselli looking to pick up their first win of the campaign. Although it's not been easy for them so far, you can never ever write them off. They've never had more success against one team than against Scotland. They love playing the Scots, but not of late. Scotland got that historic win out in Parma last time out in the Six Nations, and then won again WXV2 out in South Africa. And of course, as always, we'll have the anthems first. Italian team first. Outstanding spectacle, the Italian national anthem. Not quite as many tears as I predicted pre-match. Now, Flower of Scotland. Rousing rendition of the anthem. A packed out Hive Stadium here in Edinburgh. Rachel Malcolm just taking a breath at the end of that, taking it all in. Hard not to join in there, Heather.
Absolutely fantastic atmosphere here, and the sun's back out with us, and both teams just absolutely rearing to go.
Well, let's go through the Scotland team quickly. Leah Brebner holding in. Scrum half Helen Nelson at 10. That's going to be an interesting partnership in the halfbacks. 3 changes to the Italy team as well. Sartunesi moving into the second row. Beatrice Veronesi comes in, the open side flanker. Saracet coming in, tight head as well. And in the back's return for the fullback, Vittoria Ostuni-Minuzzi. She's going to be one to watch. She'll absolutely fly for Italy. Of course, Lisa Dinka, Clucci, Rigoni, two of the key players in that Italian backline. Molly Pullman could make a home debut for Scotland. Tight head prop. It's Shelley McCoy, local TV personality, delivers the match ball. Tries to G up Rona Lloyd as well for good measure. The referee is Amy Barrett-Theron, South African, who's not taken charge of the Scotland Six Nations match since 2023. It's a heavy loss to England that day. It'll be Lisa Thompson to kick us off. Scotland, and kicked Italy in all white. And Scotland make it 2 wins out of 3 in this Six Nations Championship. And they keep up this good form against Italy. It's Thompson kicking high into the sky. A nice clean take for Italy. Vakini. Sophia Stefan spots a gap early on. A brave little kick. Italy seek possession. And Scotland have the ball on the halfway line. And their hands on the ball nice and early. And Brebner Holden gets it out. Malcolm to Thompson. Rona Lloyd. You could hear the early excitement in the crowd as soon as Rona Lloyd got her hands on the ball. 25 tries for her country so far. She'll be wanting to add to that. Rowley driven backwards.
No.
Tough one for Rachel Malcolm to take. Scotland's first spell on the ball sees them driven back by Italy. They resort to the kick. Here's Vittoria Ostuni-Minuzzi. Well tackled by Lana Skeldon. Stefanin passes on and it's knocked on. But back, says the referee, and Sophia Stefan launches it over the head of Chloe Rowley. That's a fantastic kick from the scrum half, and Chloe Rowley has to gather on her own 5-metre line. Or hoofing it out of play. Really interesting first 2 minutes there, Heather.
Absolutely. Definitely Italy collecting well at the start, and then it's Scotland turning it over. But Italy really pressurising the Scots there, especially in the halfway line. And Stefan, we know at scrum half is such a threat with kick. Last year, 61 kicks in the Six Nations. She really can get the territory for Italy.
Worked very nicely that time. It's a good throw to the back. Evie Gallagher getting an important hand in there. Big contact, the first collision that draws breath from the crowd.
Push. Good timing, taking back. Hold Scotland.
Again, Scotland just have to clear their lines and put under good early pressure here. As Dinka gets away from one challenge and is then tackled by Rachel Malcolm. Rigoni. She spotted a gap, but she's driven backwards now.
No, she's playing it into her.
It's been a solid start from Italy. Tunisi almost able to get their ball away to Saracet. Stefanin, but to Sillery. Scotland's defence now being tested. And they respond to that test well, winning the first penalty.
Yeah, huge turnover there for Scotland. Italy looking really comfortable on the ball. Rigoni, Michaela Sillery, who broke her leg last Six Nations, is coming back to full fitness. And at 13 with Rigoni, that means Dinka plays in the wing, and Dinka at 11 is a real threat. Tried the championships last year. So this Italian team just coming together here, but great turnover there for Scotland.
No surprise to see who was in there for Scotland. Evie Gallagher, last year's turnover queen. I think that's actually our first involvement, our first breakdown steal really so far in this campaign. She's so important for Scotland, and a big loss, it must be said, against France as she was suspended.
Yeah, her back row skills definitely would have been helped, but it's a great line out there.
Straight to her chest, no opportunity for a complete, so it's good.
Well, the referee didn't agree with you there. Scotland trying something off the training ground. Amy Barrett-Theron not happy with it.
Yeah, hugely experienced Amy Barrett-Theron, just picking up there, just not going 5, and just they've got the opportunity there for a scrum or a line out, and they've gone for a scrum. First scrum for this campaign. But yeah, hugely experienced referee, and delight to have her on the pitch today for the match.
And a big test for Anne Young and Eliane Clark. Props for Scotland, who seem to be the first choice in this campaign. They've not started very many matches for Scotland, but Brian Easton has shown a lot of trust in them.
Yeah, they've played a bit together at the WXV, which has been a great tournament. Played before Christmas there in Cape Town. Italy there too. Second and third Scotland, and Italy to Australia. But Italy on the rampage now.
It was a solid push from Scotland in that scrum. Italy able to hold on to the ball. Oh, Mutso getting her hands on the ball for the first time. Another good tackle there, and infringement from Italy.
Yeah, Amy just saying an extra roll there. So Sarah Bonner just right in the mix of things. Defence is going to be absolutely key today.
We were talking pre-match, Heather, about the experience, or lack thereof, in the current crop of Scotland locks. Sarah Bonnet will have a huge part to play in teaching Adele Ferry and Becky Boyd, particularly, all the tricks of the trade.
Absolutely. Absolutely key to sort of bringing them on in this championships. But Mutso did well there just to keep the ball in, and Italy once again in possession.
It was a very tight call. She might have had a pinky toe on that white line, but the assistant referee on this near side thought she'd kept it in.
Use it wide.
Sophia Stefan goes to the boot again. I think we're going to see plenty of that this afternoon. It's a good recovery from Scotland. They've got mitts back on the ball. They've been unable to pierce the Italian defence so far, and Helen Nelson just boots it up into the air. Rona Lloyd was chasing, but no one got anywhere near it. Eventually, Vittoria Ostuni-Manuzzi gathers. And you can just see there, Sophia Stefan poking her head around the ruck, looking for the space.
She's looking dangerous at the moment, isn't she? She's just looking alive to every opportunity.
Scotland are going to have to be really wise in defence.
94th cap for her today, so huge experience for that back line. Again, just a little knock on it. It's these little errors that Italy need to thread together and just eliminate. But again, Lana Skeldon, we saw in the passage of play before, excellent tackle, and here Clark just doing a great tackle and working hard, just forcing the error from Italy.
And again, Evie Gallagher in there.
The packs know each other pretty well. They played again. Last time they played against each other, it was 19-0 to Scotland in Cape Town at WXV2, and that was at the end of September. So they played each other in the Six Nations in Parma. So yeah, very well known to each other. But Anne Young just starting in the Six Nations, excellent opportunity for her.
And Scotland holding firm there, and Gallagher picks from the back. Not the best pass from Brebner Holden. Lisa Thompson able to control with the boot and just about keep hold of the ball for Scotland. But it's a really untidy ruck. And Thompson just has to boot that away. Scotland under real pressure with ball in hand, and Ostuni Manuzzi almost through a gap. She gets the offload away. Scotland trying to hold this up. Maul is called. Another penalty goes Scotland's way.
Yes. Yeah, it seems at the moment that Scotland are trying to just like kick and not quite going for touch. But again, Ostuni Manuzzi at 15, she missed the last game. Here we see here, good hold up, good work right there. Good choke tackle and forcing the turnover from the Maul. But Ostuni Manuzzi, a real threat at 15 for Italy. Missed the last game, but yeah, super player.
You can see from the carries there, it seems like Scotland are quite content just to put the ball back to Italy, let them try and play, absorb that pressure.
It's patience as well, isn't it? But yeah, just I think especially with Dinka and Ostuni Manuzzi, it's a different type of match against Wales, and there's a real threat there from those two especially. So just think about what they're doing there with the kick.
It was a really steady scrum for a long time there. It goes down. Maybe just a bit miscommunication there between Gallagher and Brebner Holden. Emma gets her hands on the ball. Holden wants it out quickly, but she's just snaffled up there. Scotland have the penalty advantage coming. Becky Boyd carrying it into contact. Nelson out to Emma Orr. Tried to get away from Beatrice Rigoni. It was a good tackle though. There's Victoria Bikini in there, who held up the ball, but it will come all the way back for a Scotland penalty on the halfway line.
13 wide, never onside.
Yeah, so it was offside there, Sillery. So Scotland get the chance here, and I think Italy started their other two games not as strongly, and again just these little turnovers that they need to eliminate. They had 22 turnovers in their last game against them, and against Irish. The Irish defence was so strong, as we saw yesterday against Italy. But an opportunity here for Scotland. They've soaked that of that initial pressure, and they need to get that territory, which they didn't quite get against France at all times.
Well, they've not had much of it so far today. A second chance for Anna Skeldon with the throw. It's wayward. Scotland just failing to build on this defensive platform so far, but still a long way to go.
Risky. 11 always in front. Ahead of the kick.
That was Lisa Dinka offside, and another chance for Scotland now. So it looks like Helen Nelson wants to go to the corner.
Pretty much in a similar space, where she keeps it from, where showing off.
She'll have a little chat with her captain, Rachel Malcolm. And it is to the corner they go. A real statement of intent here from Scotland.
Yeah, they're comfortable doing that, and it was really quite wide out to go for the post. And I think just to build that and just settle down and go to their processes for the line out.
Another chance now for Lana Skeldon. 0 from 2 so far. This one's accurate. Sarah Bonnet taking it. Can Scotland get the heave on? Italy holding them up well so far. An even match. And it's slowly trudging forward. And Lana Skeldon has that ball. The crook of her arm. Now it comes out. Brebner Holden to Thompson. Pulled back. Nelson to Chloe Rowley. Can she go through the gap? She's still going. And she dots it down. Scotland make the breakthrough after 13 minutes. And it's Chloe Rowley with her 26th try for her country. She just would not give up on that.
Yeah, she loves scoring against Italy. 2 tries last year, both at the Six Nations and against WXV, and then she gets that try again. She's so powerful for her height and her stature, absolutely so determined there. Footwork absolutely excellent, but great backline move and great line-out process as well.
And that's really the first time that Scotland have been down in that Italy 22, and they leave with points. Will it be maximum points? Helen Nelson to take the conversion. The flags go up. The extra 2 points for Scotland, the full 7. And it's a great start for Brian Eason's side.
That was a real team try right from the decision-making process. Are we going to go for posts? Are we going to back ourselves and go for our line out? And it's totally paid off. Forwards is their job, and the half-backs distributed it excellently, and Chloe Rowley just came into line to finish superbly.
She's just got so much dynamism, so much power, such a low centre of gravity as well, but it's a poor restart from Scotland. Well, they get the bounce of the ball. I think it might have been Becky Boyd, just lost that one in the sun maybe.
Yeah, it's just, especially against a team like Italy, they like it when it's on broken play, and so Scotland just need to get that one right.
In fact, it will be an Italy throw on the edge of the Scotland 22. Play goes on. Turani. This isn't where Scotland wanted to be after scoring. Lisa Dinka, a little bit of room. Scotland snuff it out. A player you really don't want to give a yard of space. She can make something happen from nothing. Stefan. To Duca. Giordano, the captain. Italy knocking on the door now. It's lovely hands. Stuni Manuzzi though, trying to find Oramutso. And the pass just went to ground and Mutso couldn't regather cleanly, and the chance is gone for Italy. A bit of a let-off for Scotland.
Absolutely excellent play there by Italy. Mutso just showing her frustration there, just because of what they are so electric when all those passes go to hand. Scotland only conceded 1 try against Italy in the 2 matches they played against them last year, but that was certainly an opportunity going begging for Italy. As you
Rachel
see 3.
Malcolm.
Sorry.
There's Rachel Malcolm taking that opportunity to talk to her forward pack as Chloe Rowley receives some medical treatment. What will Rachel Malcolm be saying to them after that sloppy restart, which almost allowed Italy in?
Yeah, I think it's always Rachel's all about the next job, and I think they know that that was an opportunity when begging for Italy, but it's just getting up and getting that line speed up. They've been, as I said, only conceded 1 try against Italy in the last 2 matches, so they'll want to keep it that way.
And you can hear "O Flower of Scotland" ringing round the ground now. Certainly reading all the quotes from the players pre-match, they're absolutely determined to try and turn the Hive into a fortress. They've won 3 of their last 5 home games in the Six Nations. That's as many as they had managed in their previous 31 on home soil. But it's not all good news. Leah Brebner Holden is off. Katie Mattinson coming on for Scotland. That's a blow after 60 minutes, and I think that's just an HIA. We'll see if Leah Brebner Holden returns.
Yeah, her first Six Nations, she's done really, really well. Made her first cap against Wales in September, so her first Six Nations to play against Wales and France away, absolutely outstanding. But Katie Mattinson will just slot in there just now.
Katie Mattinson, a very experienced head at this level.
Put it in.
Another really solid scrum. Mattinson. A comfortable pass to Helen Nelson. And clears her lines very well. That's a fantastic kick, actually, from Helen Nelson. Almost getting all the way up to that halfway line.
Yeah, you could see Rona Lloyd in the chase just approving. They got their processes right there, and exactly what they did in training yesterday, and just cleared their lines and got the chase.
Bikini going to the back. It's loose, but it comes to Emma Stevenine. And Clark having to roll to get out the way of that one. Rachel McLachlan in there. That could have been a chance for Italy had they got the ball away. There was a big gap, or a big seam, as they call it in rugby circles. Scotland able to nullify the danger and turn the ball over. Lana Skeldon playing scrum half, and Lisa Thompson seen a bit of space. There could be a chase on here. Rona Lloyd putting the pressure on Stuni Manuzzi, who fancies a little run, but Chloe Raleigh's there to bring her down on the edge of the 22. Incredible Scotland pressure. The counter ruck's not bad either. And now it's Italy in their own 22-metre. Sophia Stefan. Well, that's not their best kick of the afternoon. Moramutso tries to keep that in. Chloe Rowley bundles her out.
But it just shows you the importance of the kick chase there. Scotland have gone from in their own half and just putting Chloe Rowley, and again just didn't give up there. Push Mutso into touch, and it should be a Scotland ball.
Time off.
Well, I think it was a knock-on first, so we're going to have the scrum as Sarah Tunezi waits to get a contact lens replacement. Sarah Say receives some more medical treatment. Well, that's the threat of Rona Lloyd. When you've got that much pace in your back three, put boot to ball, she will always chase after it.
Yeah, as we talked about earlier, Emma Orr has got 2 tries from the kick chase. Sometimes it's come from a turnover ball, but Scotland are always alive to it, and they've just got that dynamism in the back three, and especially with the centre pairing linking up with them. And Helen Nelson's kicking today really outstanding, coming from there, exiting well, and now in putting the Italians under pressure.
Scotland just taking that chance to get some water on. Molly Wright delivering it to the forwards, Matt Banahan delivering it to the backs.
Hale have been pleased with that first try. Some good hands there, just nice simple execution, and the finish by Rowley.
And the former England winger absolutely loving life up in Scotland. Of course, the Scotland coaching team will lose one of their key members, Fraser Brown, going to join Trailfinders after this championship. He'll be taking a keen interest in this scrum. Scotland have the put in. Can they get into the Italian 22? Only the second time. Mattinson out to Thompson. Tried to find Nelson. There's a little knock on, but Scotland had the advantage. Katie Mattinson wanting to take it quick.
Just say, yeah, how important it is to get these scrum penalties, especially in this area of the pitch. England showed yesterday against Ireland just that was the decisive move that pushed them forward to break away from the excellent play by the Irish in the first half. But a real great position for Scotland. Lana Skeldon's on it. She's also scored 4 times against Italy in the last 3 matches, so she might be looking for a little try here. Get her processes right first.
Edie Gallagher gets a hand to it, slaps it backwards, and then Lana Skeldon able to hold messy for Scotland. Becky Boyd, again, that wasn't the cleanest of takes, but she did it really well to hold on to the ball. Mattinson now to Malcolm. In the middle of the pitch for Scotland. Again, it just goes wrong. Nelson firing that pass at Emma Orr. Scotland can't keep hands on the ball.
Scrum advantage.
Italy have the advantage. They're not making too many yards. Beatrice Rigoni driven backwards. So distinctive in that yellow scrum cap. She's been in Six Nations Team of the Championship twice, first in 2022 and again last year. That's how key she is to this Italian side. The advantage over Scotland, have the chance to run it back at Italy. Thompson tries to kick through, it's well charged down by Rigoni. It's just a little slack at the moment. Now it's Scotland who are going backwards. Boyd takes it in as the hosts look for a little bit of stability in this phase.
Last it now, wide, no hands. Music night, 22.
Atkinson taking her time over that one.
Ball 22.
And Nelson puts away. It's not her cleanest kick of the afternoon, although it evades Ostuni Manuzzi. Now here is Elisa Dinka. Big tackle from Skeldon and Boyd. Ostuni Manuzzi coming into the line. Stefan wants it quick. Here's the captain Giordano to Rigoni. Keeps it in. It's a good kick over the head of Helen Nelson, who's under pressure from Muzzo, who drags her down. And Scotland have to work here if they're to keep hold of the ball. Chloe Rowley trying to hold it up by herself. Scotland do hang on to it. They're under real pressure at the moment, Heather.
Yeah, doing well. Fantastic kick there from Rigoni and a great charge down.
Mattinson able to regather, play going on. Scotland desperate to get this ball away from their own try line, probably off the pitch as well. There's been plenty of phases. This little moment where Scotland are going back and back and back, and Italy win the penalty.
Yeah, Turani there working hard in the tackle, but Scorbini, who's been earmarked a few times in the rounds 1 and 2, excellent work. But it's Beatrice Rigoni at number 12, that inside-out kick, just keeping it in. The Muzzo's chase gives them an excellent platform.
Italy on the 5-metre line now. Vicchini with the throw. This time it's good. She finds her captain Giordano. They recycle it quickly. Stefan out. Rigoni just short. Well, there's a lunge for the line, and Italy have scored. It's Francesca Scorbini diving desperately over the whitewash, and Italy hit back. They put Scotland under so much pressure there, and it's paid off with a try for Francesca Scorbini.
Yeah, her second try of the Six Nations. Got a try in the opening round here, does excellently. Great, just changing direction, looked like she was going right and came in left. Rona Lloyd thought she'd held it up, but try given.
Well, we'll get a better look here. Lloyd was sure that she'd held it up. I think it might have just been dotted down on that white line before being driven backwards. It's a close one though.
Yeah, just that angle.
Well, it won't be Rigoni to kick, it's Michaela Sillery, who drags it wide, so Scotland will retain that 2-point lead. And little misses like that can sometimes make all the difference come the end of the match.
Here's the try again.
Rona Lloyd on her knees trying to keep that ball off the white paint.
Referee was right on it, obviously thought that the ball had been dotted down. But Sillery back on kicking duties for Italy. Key player, as I said, broke her leg last Six Nations and is building her way back to fitness. Doesn't normally play the full match at the moment, just playing a half, but an excellent kicker once she's on form and back to full fitness.
There is Leah Brebner holding, and looks rather gutted after failing her HIA. So Katie Mattinson will stay on the pitch permanently. 7-5 as we approach the half-hour mark. Heather, do you think that's a fair reflection of what we've seen so far?
I think it is. I think there's been on both sides just a couple of sort of trying things maybe they wouldn't normally, and just a few loose balls, just as we see here. And the pitch is really dry and bouncy, so they need to be careful, both sides.
Italy getting themselves up to the halfway line, but I think a little knock on there. Again, that little kick over the top from Stefan, that little chip, just causing chaos. So hard to defend against.
Yeah, because it's obviously because it's not a high ball, so it's not there to catch in the full, so it's bouncing and the ball's bobbling. Really difficult there, and just for both sides. But Stefan, really smart player. Was player of the club at Sale Sharks. Just the season just gone, they just finished in the PWR. Herself and Rugoni were playing at Sale Sharks.
Couple of former Sharks in the Scotland ranks as well. Rachel McLaughlin, one of them. She's now playing her trade in France with Montpellier. Scotland trying to get the ball into the hands of Fran McGee. We've not seen too much of her so far. She's in a really good Six Nations. Made more meters than any other player in the championship before this weekend.
Meters carried, meters gained, 6 line breaks, absolutely phenomenal for her.
She's just not seen much of the ball this afternoon as Scotland run into that white wall. And again, that Italian defence forcing a mistake from Scotland.
Yeah, Italian defence much stronger today. Tunisia, Turani just get really stuck in. Scarvini on it. They lost the try bonus point in their first 2 matches by the half-hour mark. So today they've definitely got them in defensive mentality, and it's the double tackles that's doing it.
Yes, that result against Ireland 2 weeks ago now, a real surprise. Ireland are on the up, but I don't think anyone expected them to win by that margin against Italy. Yeah,
the try bonus point after 24 minutes. Anna McGann on fire there, but and Eve Higgins. But Ireland have a lot of their 7 players, so maybe they didn't expect it. But I think maybe those watching the Celtic Challenge, just how strong the Irish team were the Wolfhounds and the Clovers.
Stefan trying to make the break. McLaughlin brings her down, tries to get over the ball. Evie Gallagher making a nuisance of herself in there as well. The sun shining into the eyes of the Scotland defenders as we approach the half-hour mark. 12 minutes of this first half remaining. Anna Skeldon and Rachel Malcolm trying to hold it up. Italy keep the ball. Rugoni just about holding on to it. For Fran McGee drags her back. Stefan conducting again. Stefanin running straight into traffic. Sarah Tunisi running into, that was Lisa Thompson, maybe Katie Mattinson, sorry. Italy have hands on the ball, that's a fantastic pass, and Italy are in here. Aura Muzzo puts Italy ahead for the first time in this match. They find the seam, they find the hands on the outside, and it's clinical attack from Italy to put them ahead of their hosts.
Yeah, Muzzo was frustrated the last time, didn't quite go to hand, but here we're talking about Sillery, gave that try assist, and Muzzo just running that perfect line and a roll. But look at that, just little dodge, clean hands by Sillery at 13, getting back to full fitness, and Muzzo just finishing.
Sillery, her 89th cap today, 32 years old, using all her experience, a brilliant little dummy to fool Becky Boyd before putting Aura Muzzo away. It was her birthday yesterday, Aura Muzzo. What a way to celebrate.
Absolutely.
Here is Michaela Sillery to try and add the extras. she's run out of time. The kick was good, but she'd run out of time on the shot clock. I actually can't recall seeing that, and that's an unfortunate one for Sillery because it was such a good kick.
Absolutely, it doesn't count, doesn't quite, the conversion won't stand. Barrett are on there, Sillery just asking what the position was.
And if you're Fabio Roselli, the Italian head coach, how annoyed are you about that?
Yeah, I think it's just, again, maybe just getting used to it's a global law trial, and just speeding up the game, and the kickers need to take it in under a minute, and the shot clock's there.
Big hit from Evie Gallagher, forces that ball backwards. Scotland now needing a response, 3 points behind. 10 minutes to go in this first half. Goes out into touch on the far side.
But it's interesting here, Sillery is sort of I think she's got a background in engineering, and she plays with Rigoni, who's very much an instinctive player, but Sillery brings that balance to that back line, and the service that she provided to Mutso there was absolutely excellent.
Better throw from Lana Skeldon to find Rachel Malcolm. Scotland need to get a little bit more territory here, try and get into that Italian 22 a bit more. They've only visited twice, albeit scoring once. Nelson with the missed pass, MR spills. Sillery, it's an inventive kick over the top. Vittorio Stuni Manuzzi chasing. Italy, perhaps after that heavy defeat, they've really come out with a point to prove. Been absolutely fantastic in this first half, putting Scotland under real pressure whenever the hosts get the ball. As Katie Matheson clears her own lines with a good kick.
Excellent kick there by Katie Matheson, absolutely excellent. Just to calm things down for Scotland. I think Italy are sort of in their attack, they're deliberately, the variety and the little kicks by Stefan and making it messy. They know Scotland want to play a clean game, and they're making it difficult for Scotland. The ball's bouncing, the ball's bobbling, they're asking questions.
It's really clean from Italy, and Mutso's away again. She gets rid of Rona Lloyd, Lisa Thompson comes back. Italy absolutely flying at the moment, all the momentum behind the visitors. And they are once again knocking on the Scotland door. The speed of that attack just slowed up at the last breakdown. Stefan is back to her feet, able to regather. Tunezi into Evie Gallagher. And it's a combination of Gallagher and Skeldon in the breakdown who come to Scotland's rescue.
That's the absolute bite that Scotland need, especially in the 22. Both of them just superb in that breakdown. Tunezi ferocious there, but Skeldon just getting low, just in the right there. And Gallagher as well, able to just keep hold of that ball.
14 tackles, I think it'll be 15 now for Lana Skeldon in this game so far. No player on the pitch currently has more.
That's huge, that's absolutely huge. She knows how important this match is. This is an important passage to play here just before half-time.
Third turnover one for Scotland. Evie Gallagher's been involved in all of them. She was nominated last season for the RPA's Player of the Year. Down at Bristol Bears in the PWR. So that throw comes to Scotland rather fortuitously. Gallagher tries the offload to McLachlan. Mattinson is behind Skeldon, but Scotland can pick up, and Nelson scrambles it away. Dinka holds at the second attempt. Almost got her ankles wrapped by Emma Orr. Made a couple more metres though. Duca carrying forward for Italy. She was only bettered by Sarah Tunezi in the carries for Italy thus far as Thompson skews her kick. Rona Lloyd almost gathering, but the ball knocked on and spilled into touch. And after an encouraging start for Scotland, the last 15-20 minutes just not going their way.
Yeah, I think when Scotland have the ball at the moment, they're just in that midfield. They're just trying to offload, that extra offload, too many at the moment. I think they just need to keep possession, build the phases, and more importantly, build the territory.
And that's a worrying sign for Scotland. Lana Skeldon receiving treatment on her wrist. Of course, Ellis Martin is the option from the bench. Well, what will Brian Easton be thinking right now? He certainly seems to be deep in thought there.
Yeah, I think just take a breath. Maybe that's what the Scotland team are doing there, and just reset their processes, and just don't force things, because the Italian defence is on it today. So they just need to keep possession and keep their composure.
Left of this first half. Can Scotland find anything before heading to the sheds to try and get back either on level terms or in front? The Scotland subs head out to warm up. Here is Beatrice Rigoni back to Stevenin. Strong tackle, but Italy work it quickly. Ostuni Minuzzi. That ball sat up really nicely for Rona Lloyd, who dances away from a few tackles. She's into open prairie, but brilliantly tackled. I think that was Oromuzzo. The excitement palpable as soon as Rona Lloyd found a yard of space. You thought she might just tear away. Of course, a sprinter in her youth. Once she gets going, she's hard to stop. And there's an Italian knock-on in there. Amy Barrett-Theron, the referee, playing the advantage. Becky Boyd taking it off her toes. 6 carries for her so far. Mattinson going up and under. Fran McGee flying up it. Ostuni Minuzzi, but the timing wasn't quite there. Sarasei takes it in. Malcolm driving her backwards. Italy now go to the boot. Chloe Rowley. Rowley, sorry. Skips away from one tackle. Thompson and Rowley played a little 1-2. Scotland into Italy's half. Young into Becky Boyd. She's been such a willing carrier in this first half. Making her first start for Scotland. Skeldon trying to find that quick pass. Emma Orr ends up holding on to the ball. Michaela Sillery. Thought she might have come in from the side there. Sarah Bonner. Scotland once again being repelled. Boyd carrying forward, just 20 years old. Qualifies through her grandfather James, who hailed from Govan. Again, that Scotland attack just comes to naught.
Yeah, I think nice scrubber there from Lisa Thompson. And I think Scotland are starting to go through the phases again. Just a couple of offloads that didn't need to be there. Emma Orr just kept hold of the ball here, just on the near side. And that's maybe just what they need. Just go through the phases and that the spaces will come. And I think it's about patience at this point. I think Scotland are expecting to score straight off. They need to get more field position, more chances in the 22. Italy are definitely putting the pressure on with their kicks and their variety. And their defence, actually, the Italian defence, they're right up. They're really putting pressure on that Scottish backline.
Beatrice Veronesi, lead tackler for Italy so far with 12 to her name. That was Vittoria Vicchini, receiving a bit of treatment. Looks like she's okay to continue. Scotland who have the throw, about 90 seconds of this first half remaining. They've got a lot of work to do if they're to score from here. Katie Mathinson digging for the ball. Big carry from Lisa Thompson. No one's carried more for Scotland in this tournament than Lisa Thompson. Malcolm running onto the ball. Scotland trucking it forward, making yards, and winning the penalty. Now this is a big call for Scotland. It's fairly central, just outside the 22-metre. Do they go for the sticks and just try and level the score? Or do they go for the corner? It looks like Helen Nelson has maybe pointed for the posts.
She's put the ball down certainly in that position. Rachel Malcolm's just getting some treatment, so it's looking like they're going to go for the kick. But in terms of their play, just leading up to that, much more sustained, patient, hard carries. Lisa Thompson just indicative of what Scotland need to do, just get that extra yard. There was no ruck, so she went up and went again, and just that dynamism and just that patience and support play from the forwards.
I think Rachel Malcolm was just indicating that she'd had a little bash on the face there. Of course, she would be a loss if she were to go off. But Alex Stewart and Jade Conkle are the back row options on the bench for Scotland. Such strength and depth for Brian Eason now.
Absolutely, and they've all had significant amounts of game time, both in whichever leagues they're playing in, the Celtic Challenge, the Premiership Women's Rugby in England or in France, and they're able to step up, and they've played in the Six Nations, they've played in WXV, which is the world competition, the World League, which is a fantastic initiative by World Rugby. It's been going on for 2 years. Scotland won it 2 years ago, tipped Italy, in fact, just by points difference. So the more they're playing at the higher level, the more the players and the depth from both teams will be exposed, especially in a World Cup year.
Absolutely, as well as playing in the Six Nations Championship, they are, of course, playing for World Cup places in that Scotland squad. In fact, Helen Nelson will go for the corner. Big call for Scotland with 20 seconds remaining. She goes for accuracy rather than depth, but it's a good kick from Helen Nelson. Scotland now with the chance from this line out to try and go ahead at the break. It's been a difficult first half for them. They've not been down in Italy's 22 very often.
They got their first try from the line out wall, so
they win the line out. Rachel Malcolm taking it forward. The ball immediately goes down. Skeldon playing scrum half, and Scotland's back line just a bit static there. Receiving the ball very flat, and that Italian defence flying out to meet them.
Great defence by Bikini there.
Atkinson to Nelson, Chloe Rowley, the only Scotland player who has penetrated that line so far. Mattinson thought about going, gave the pass, and there's a knock on, and that's a mistake from Scotland, and it means that they will almost certainly end this first half 3 points behind Italy. Sophia Stefan puts the ball into touch, and it is Italy who will go into the sheds ahead. It's been an impressive performance from the visitors, who had to deal with going behind. Chloe Rowley with the try, getting rid of a few defenders before dotting down. That was to put Scotland ahead, but Italy hit back pretty quickly themselves. Francesca Scorbini with it, and then they went ahead through Aura Muzzo. Fantastic celebration to go along with the finish as well. So it's been a tough first half for Scotland as the players leave the pitch. Heather, what will Brian Eason be saying in there quickly?
I think how Scotland played, just not in that 22, but just the passage before that, it was more direct carries, keeping the ball in hand, just going through the phases, getting more territory and being more direct. Italy, if there's any loose ball, are on it, and they're just so explosive. We've seen
to the pitch in the shadow of Murrayfield. Italy with that 10-7 lead, just 3 points, but it's been such a battle. I'm joined by Heather Lockhart. Heather, you've been poring over the stats at half-time. What is the key one that's standing out to you before the second half kicks off?
I think there's a couple. I think Italy, in terms of metres made, Muzzo, Ostuni Manuzzi, 457 metres to 293. They're really getting into Scotland's half. In terms of territory, Italy are winning that battle too, 55% to 45. So Scotland need to try and play more in the Italian half, but all to play for second half.
It will be Emma Stefanin to kick off for Italy.
Good.
Sun disappearing behind a cloud. Stefanin with the unorthodox kick. Fran McGee can't field. And that's worked nicely for Italy. Thought maybe she'd rather messed that kick up, but it's actually worked really nicely for Italy, although it's a Scotland throw. Only just avoiding Fran McGee's hand. An early set piece for Scotland, Lana Skeldon to throw in.
Again, Italy asking that question with that bouncing ball, just making it hard for Scotland.
Throw right in front of us here in the commentary position. It was inch perfect from Skeldon and Malcolm. Evie Gallagher almost held up. Good metres made by Scotland there as Helen Nelson goes for the boot. And that is a fantastic kick, just outside the 22-metre, I think. A decent effort from Nelson. Yeah, it's right on the edge. Almost perfect from Scotland.
Yeah, just exactly what we're talking about. They need that direct carry off the line out. Tremendous carry there by Evie Gallagher, and then the kick by Helen Nelson just outside the 22.
Vicchini with the throw. It's a good one for Italy. Trying to break out of their own 22-metre. It's been a really strong showing from Fabio Roselli's side.
Use it wide.
The new head coach in charge of Italy. Sophia Stefan going high, and it's picked off by Dinka to Rigoni. She tries to find her captain, Giordano, but there was just a little forward pass in there. Unlucky, because that was almost a fantastic exit from Italy.
Yeah, we've been talking about the Italian back three, and Rigoni there just at 12, offloading, but just a little forward pass. But that's what Italy are capable of, and directed at 9 by Stefan, who's been hugely impressive in the first half.
And we talked a little bit at half-time, Heather, about Scotland's tactics. They've gone to the boot a lot. They've put the ball in Elisa Dinka's hands a lot. However, Muzzo, Vittorio Ostuni Manuzzi as well. 3 really dangerous and willing runners. I don't think it's quite worked for Scotland in that first half.
Yeah, not certainly when they're on their game, and they seem to be on their game today. So, yeah, but just that direct approach by Scotland in terms of the line out, that's looking, and the scrum is strong as well.
Stay on flank.
That said, when they have tried to keep the ball in hand, they've run into an Italian wall. And they're running into it again. Fran McGee trying to spot a gap, almost through. She's brought down. And Rigoni goes straight through the ruck. Mattinson able to get up. Rowley in now, playing scrum half. Scotland a lot deeper in their positioning as Giordana Duca tries to wrestle that ball back. Mattinson goes left. Sylvia Turani not offside. The ball was out, said the referee Amy Barrett-Theron. South African in the green, in charge of us today. Malcolm carrying hard. Mattinson, clever play from the scrum half there, running straight into the stricken Giordana Duca and winning the advantage. Nelson with a long kick through. It was gathered by try scorer in the first half, Francesca Scorbini. Scotland playing the advantage, they'll come back. And they'll want to make a really quick start in this second half and try and overturn that scoreline just as quickly as possible.
Yeah, just thought they'd get the kick through, but it's interesting just before, Scotland's just probably a bit deeper because the Italian offence is up so much, but there's that also sometimes leaves some gaps, and there's the inside ball to Rowley, and that worked perfectly. So they are thinking along those lines, how can we break that Italian defence? And that little inside ball, there's gaps, so they're coming up the outside, there will be dog legs.
We saw Scotland struggle to field a few high balls in that first half with the sun in their eyes. Is that going to play a part in the second half, do you think?
Yeah, it seems to be changing a bit, but I think their next thought, certainly, that's a great position here for Scotland, deep in the 22 and converting their chances.
They didn't have a lot of territory in that first half, but they've got it in the second and they're over. Set piece perfection from Scotland. Lana Skeldon finding McLaughlin, who feeds Evie Gallagher, and she strolls through almost untouched to fire Scotland back in front.
Hugely smart play there. A short one from Lana Skeldon to Rachel McLaughlin and finished off perfectly by Evie Gallagher, and just absolutely delighted there by the Scottish support. Great finish, great thinking, great variety.
Well, Fraser Brown, the forwards coach, is a notoriously hard man to please, but I think even he might have cracked a smile at that. Absolutely fantastic from Scotland. Evie Gallagher getting the try, her 5th for her country. She had a fantastic first half. She capped it with a try early in the second. Can Helen Nelson add the extras? Well, she pulls it wide, but Scotland have that 2-point lead. Let's have another look at this try. Lovely little swivel from Rachel McLaughlin, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was loads of good stuff, and the lifting pod did their job. It looked like it was going to Becky Boyd, and then just creating that gap in the middle. Excellent play.
Brilliant deception from the Scotland forward pack as Anne Young gathers the kick. That'll give them such a huge boost. That's exactly what Brian Easton would have wanted. That, on the other hand, not so much. Italy winning the penalty from the restart and immediately putting Scotland back on the back foot, and that's exactly what we saw in the first half as well. Yeah,
I'm just about to say that, absolutely. If you've done the good work at that end, you've just got to refocus for the next job. Sarah Say doing well there. Just here, look, staying strong. Knows some of the players she plays at, players at trail finders, and strong. That's why she's starting at number 3 today.
Yeah, up against her trail finders teammate Lisa Thompson there. Scotland having to deal with the Italian set piece. And that maul barging forward, Bikini at the back of it. Can Scotland hold this up? The visiting fans chanting and urging their players forward. They're up to the 5-metre line now. Sophia Stefan digs for it, finds Beatrice Rigoni, who gets rid of Helen Nelson. But there's a knock-on in there, and Scotland are let off. Well, it looked like that was only going one way. Italy so hard to stop.
Yeah, just Helen Nelson just doing enough there just to force that error. But what a line out there from Italy. Anyone watching, just that's how the process is. Really tight and direct, and coming round to the right, which is really hard to defend on that blind side. But Scotland doing well, just enough to turn that over. But Italy will know that that's a chance gone begging. Almost following the pattern of that first half. Scotland score and then Italy come back. Scotland just switching off at the restart and putting themselves under a little bit of pressure. Sarah saying taking advantage. Oh, she's just taking a knock there.
Taking a knock and straight back into the scrum. Maybe not ideal for the Italian tight head.
Tight head certainly doing their jobs this weekend. Maud Muir, player of the match in the England match yesterday. Sarah Byrne, 2 tries. And Assia Kalfawi for France, outstanding in the second half. So crucial, tight heads are crucial.
I thought you might say that.
Loose 2.
Both Scotland's,
everyone.
Scotland's props. Anne Young and Eliane Clark have a job to do here. Keep it nice and stable so that Scotland can clear their lines effectively. Italy putting them under pressure. And Scotland will be kicking to Lisa Dinkel, Victoria Steny Minutes, and Alva Mutsa. the kick. Martinson, the clean feed. Gallagher will pick up from the base. Just carry it forward a few more yards. Clark doing the same. Solid base. Scotland to work with. Nelson though under pressure. And she's done absolutely terrifically to get out of there. I don't think she'll be too happy with her blockers. She had two Italian defenders herring up at her. And instead of being a rabbit in the headlights, she was calm and composed, dancing away from a couple. It's Lisa Thompson who finally puts boot to ball. And now Stini Manuzzi in the red scrum cap. Tries the offload, it's scrappy though. I think there's a knock-on from Scotland as they try to pilfer that ball. Indeed, it will be a scrum. But how well did Helen Nelson do to get rid of that?
Yeah, she's a former skier, and I think she can see spaces, and she gives herself time when others maybe wouldn't give themselves time. That's her composure, and that's why she's playing at 10 for Scotland. But great clear there from Lisa Thompson.
Well, a couple of early changes in the front row. Anne Young is one of those, coming off just before the 50-minute mark. She's replaced by Leah Bartlett, who's got 41 caps now to her name. Really experienced loosehead coming on. The other change maybe a little surprising. Lana Skeldon coming off. She's replaced by Ellis Martin. What's the thinking behind that, Edda?
Yeah, I don't know if she got a knock in the first half, so I'm not sure if that has anything to do with the thinking. And certainly done great shift by both, and Ellis and Leah will slot in that front row position.
Lana Skeldon, such a key player for Scotland and Bristol Bears. Hasn't added to her incredible try record today. 17 no hookers ever scored more for Scotland. She also moved into the 4th position in the all-time appearance list for Scotland, along with Lee Coburn, Paula Chalmers. Emma Orr doing her best to get out of there. Becky Boyd up against her opposite number, Sarah Tunese. Advantage coming to Italy there. And again, Scotland, since they scored that try early on through Evie Gallagher, they've been unable to get out of their own 22-metre.
Yeah, just the penalty conceded there, attacker not rolling away, and again just giving Italy another opportunity after they'd worked so hard to get it out that 22. Tunisia strong. Started on the bench in round 1, back row, and now I think she's good there. Number 4, second row, taking that line out.
Well, we saw how devastating the last ball was. This one's gone down. It was Italy who brought it down, but Vakini spotted a gap, trucked it up a few more yards. Tunisia carrying again. Becky Boyd doing her best to try and wrestle that Italian attacker to the floor. Scotland under real pressure again. But a little handling error just creeping in once more. We've seen, I think that's 11 now for Italy in this game. Well, that must be so frustrating for Fabio Roselli, because his team are in such a good position. They've been there so many times. And yet again, the ball is spilled.
Yeah, Leah Bartlett getting involved there. I think both teams just like maybe guilty of that a wee bit, just like giving the advantage to the other team once they've done something good, and it's just backing up, it's getting that consistency going and just focusing on the here and now and getting the flow going. I think it's been a bit sort of topsy-turvy, back and forth, so both teams will be trying to get the flow on and get the rhythm on.
Again, the medics are on. Sarah Tunisi, 12 carries for her now. She's gone through a power of work.
Yeah, she's got 12 carries, 9 tackles. couple of offloads. She really is. I think I was just saying that she can play back row as well and started on the bench in round 1 against England, but definitely I think number 4 in the line-out takes as well is such a strong carrier for them.
There's going to be a change for Italy. That tight head, she's been down, receiving treatment a couple of times. Sarasay coming off. Jaya Maris coming on. She goes straight into the scrum.
Valsugana, she's from the club Valsugana in Italy, like so many of them are, and again, strong scrummager.
Scotland's ball wants a cleaner exit this time.
5, steady.
Well, I suppose with Chloe O'Reilly and Rona Lloyd, Francesca McGee is a back 3. Back 3, Rachel Malcolm's called world class before. You could probably have a run at this, but I imagine Evie Gallagher is going to move this for Katie Mattinson. Scotland have the advantage as Helen Nelson puts the chip in. No advantage there, and Scotland will have another opportunity to get rid of this.
Yeah, just Italy making that change at the tight head, but Leah Bartlett just getting the shunt on, all 8 getting the shunt on and getting that penalty.
She's got so many caps, Leah Bartlett, her 41st today. You forget she's only 26. She's played, I think, in every Six Nations game since 2021, whether that be starting or off the bench, although most of them have been starts, it must be said. A hugely important player for Scotland.
Yeah, she scored 2 years ago, a couple of tries here, and when it's short range, she's on the ball and scored against Wales in the round 1 as well. So a hugely impactful player when she's on, can also start. So great that Scotland have that option.
6 tries for the Bartlett, for loose headers.
Exactly.
Throw goes awry, and it's another chance for Italy now. Beatrice Rigoni gets rid of Emma Orr. Maris taking into contact for the first time. Tunisi spills, it goes back. Stuni Manuzzi taking it. This has been a solid 10 minutes or so of pressure that Scotland have had to weather. Gallagher sniffing around the breakdown. Thought there might have been a chance there, but Italy retain the ball. Scorbini. Stefanin into Veronese, who was almost lifted up and then lifted and put back down by Helen Nelson. Tunisi looking for the offload, she gets it away. Italy still going here. Rigoni up to the line. It's a really flat attack at the moment. Gallagher in there. Not successful this time as Ellis Martin tries to come through. The ball goes to the deck again and it's picked up by Bartlett. There's an advantage coming now as Mattinson gets it back to Thompson, booting away straight into the breadbasket of Vitoyo Stuni Manuzzi. It's a good pass out to Mutso, who has space. She's up against Thompson one-on-one. It's a high tackle from Thompson. She gets the ball away and Stuni Manuzzi's in to score. That is the danger of Italy's back 3. Stuni Manuzzi back in the Italy team, back on the score sheet, and to make matters worse for Scotland, there's a yellow card as well, I think, for that high tackle. Lisa Thompson off to the sin bin. Italy are back in front in this topsy-turvy game in Edinburgh.
Yeah, we talked at half-time, you and I, just about how dangerous Stuni Manuzzi and Mutso are, and they just combine superbly well. She rarely misses a high ball. It's her positioning. She's always in the right place to get the high ball, and she just finishes superbly there with Mutso.
Well, a disastrous phase of play really there for Scotland. As Beatrice Rigoni takes the kick. And it just glides by the posts. And of course, Beatrice Rigoni taking that kick because Michaela Sillerate is off. I think I saw her go down with cramp just at the start of that phase. And that means that the youngster, Sarah Menini, is coming on.
I watched Ostini Minuzzi warm up, really calm, really composed, one of the first out, just gently going through the phases, but she is so explosive. And that support line, she gave the pass and then ran the support line to finish off the try.
And it looked like initially a good clearance from Thompson. She got a lot of distance on it, but it was just straight down the throat of Ostini Minuzzi. And it happens again, but this time Ostini Minuzzi finds the pass. Driven backwards. Can Scotland find a response, or is this going to be a similar tale to the first half? It has been so far. Scotland scoring early and Italy firing straight back. They're coming up the pitch again now. Katie Mathinson with a tackle, Chloe Rowley in there. Stefan looking for the kick, but instead she fires it out. This time it's Italy who make the mistake, but Ellis Martin's gone down. And that's not what Scotland needs. She's just come on for Lana Skeldon. Back to her feet and then back down again. It might just be a stinger maybe.
She seems to be in a wee bit of discomfort there. Nothing too serious. But an important passage of play here for Scotland in terms of they're down a player, it's a yellow card, it's just a straight yellow, it's not going to the bunker. And yeah, Scotland have got to game manage this period of play, and that's the instant there for Ellis.
Maybe just a little winded there, Ellis Martin, a Loughborough Lightning hooker. Kick's good from Alan Nelson. Scotland back down in Italian territory for the first time since that Evie Gallagher try. Martin with the throw. Finds Becky Boyd. But Amy Barrett-Theron not happy with something in there. A bit of crossing maybe, and another opportunity goes begging for Scotland.
First one, so I'll manage it. I'm going to deal with it now. Okay. Just speak to the captain.
Yeah, just... Again, Scotland just not getting their processes right there again after getting into that 22. Yep. And against France, they had that. They were actually in the France's 22 more than France. They were in 11 times, France 9. But again, it's just that conversion rate in the 22 and keeping the pressure on when the opportunities are there.
Hands off. I have a decision on the yellow card. Okay, it's going to remain the yellow card. Low, 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 danger. Thank you.
Amy Barrett-Theron confirming that Lisa Thompson's yellow will stay a yellow. She'll be coming back shortly.
Yeah, apologies, it did go to the bunker, but yeah, definitely a yellow.
Italy trying to run this out of their own half. Rigoni, there's a bit of space there for Italy if they can work the hands. Rachel McLachlan trying to target the ball in that tackle. Italy still going.
Play on, first arrival.
But Scotland have stolen it. Evie Gallagher in there again. Becky Boyd for a standing start. She's well held up.
Put her down.
But Italy told to put her down. Gallagher is down receiving treatment for Scotland. Not ideal. She's been one of the best players on the park for Scotland, but that is an enormous kick. But unfortunately for Scotland, it's going to die just behind the line. And Ostini Minuzzi will just tap it down. Well, if you're just joining us and you're surprised by the scoreline, given that Italy have lost their first 2 games of this campaign, we'll go back to the head-to-head. Scotland have won their last 2 Six Nations matches against Italy after winning just 1 of the previous 12 encounters. Each of the last 3 championship games have been decided by a single-digit margin. Heather, I think that's going to be the case today again, isn't it?
Yeah, Absolutely, it's always so close. It went right down to the wire last year in Parma. Italy had a chance to win it. It was 17-10 to Scotland, and the line out didn't quite go to plan. But certainly with the way they're tackling today, and Tunisi there, they want it.
That was a huge hit from Sarah Tunisi on Ellis Martin. Katie Mattinson trying to kick of her own, playing the part of Sophia Stefan for Scotland there. And it's worked quite nicely, but Italy should be able to clear their lines here. There's going to be an advantage here for Italy. High tackle from Scotland. Scotland will, of course, just want to kind of weather this storm while Lisa Thompson's still in the sin bin and they're a player down.
Yeah, absolutely. Just that game management and just keep the detail right, not give away too many penalties, and just, yeah, keep the composure.
It's Francesca McGee who was pinged there for that high tackle.
Italy still in possession here.
Tunisi up to receive. It's been an all-action performance from her this afternoon. Montpellier forward who plays with Rachel McLaughlin in France. Stefanine out to Stuni Minuzzi was wrapped up by Chloe Rowley and the pass goes astray, but it's backwards. Italy diving on the ball. They somehow keep hold of it. Rigoni thought she spotted a gap. 62 minutes on the clock. Scotland, as they were at half-time, trailing by 3 points. Bikini, Stuni Minuzzi, good hands from Italy. Veronese running into Rachel Malcolm. Stefan out to Muzzo. No high tackle play going on. Scotland's defence just creaking ever so slightly. Flying up out of the line, and there's room now for Rigoni on the far side. She dances away from one tackle, still going, dances away from another. Can she get it to the line? She chucks it back. And it's the captain, Giordano. Italy looking for a fourth bonus point score, but it's being turned over. How many times have Scotland pinched it in their own 22-metre? And gotten themselves out of danger at the vital moment. They are living so dangerously, Scotland, today.
Yeah, there just seems to be space out in that right wing, and Italy are identifying that. That's where they've scored their tries. But huge turnover there by Evie Gallagher, and it's what she does afterwards. She gains metres, gains time, and then it's the clearance. Substitutions on.
A couple of changes. Molly Pullman is on for her home debut as a Scotland player. She replaces Eliane Clark at tight head, and Evie Gallagher is replaced by Jade Conkle. Big call from Brian Eason as Evie Gallagher probably been Scotland's best player today. Another turnover for her just there. A huge performance from her today.
Absolutely, those turnovers just absolutely key, and her work rate, especially back from she missed the last match due to suspension. She can also play flank, so there is room for her and Jade on the pitch.
Oh, that's Italian maul, driving and driving. Will it be stopped before it gets to the line? They're not far away. Ellis Martin doing her utmost to keep Italy out. And I think she's done enough. The ball on the floor. Stefan digging for it. Sees the line. She's held up as well. But Italy not done yet. They will keep burrowing their way to that whitewash. Here goes Tarani. Held up. heroic Scottish defence, keeping Italy out. The next score in this game is so vital. Italy on the cusp of it there. But I think it's Rachel McLachlan maybe coming up with the ball at the end.
Yeah, it was her and it's McLachlan and Lloyd. Didn't get the in the first half, Rona, but absolutely excellent how low they both get.
21 tackles today for Rachel McLachlan, more than any other Scotland player. 49th cap for her as well. All things being well, she should get to 50. Huge player for Scotland in the last couple of years. And they've got work to do again. Here's Maris. Italy relentless, wave after wave of attack. Ragoni out to Dinka in the corner. Italy have their bonus point try. Scotland just could not deal with that relentless Italian attack. They would not give an inch. And it's Beatrice Ragoni who unlocks the defence with that brilliant pass to Elisa Dinka. She likes a try against Scotland. She's got another today.
Yeah, really, really passes. It starts with Maris there. Strong ball carrier, as you can see. And again, Stefan just looking. And it's Stefan into Ragoni. And that Ragoni, that long pass out to Dinka to finish. Tried the championships last year against France. But superb finish there.
Ragoni curls. Just didn't have the legs. And that would have given Italy a 10-point lead. We'll have to make do with 8. But Scotland have got 15 minutes to find a converted try and a little extra if they want to turn this around. They've given themselves a Monroe to climb.
They've just been absolutely relentless. As soon as Scotland tried to exit, they're back again. And all back three have scored today. Mutso, Stuni Manutsi, and now Dinka.
Well, Lisa Thompson is back on the pitch. Scotland back to their full contingent. They need to turn the tide. They need to find something special. And that might just be it. The penalty comes for Scotland. What does Helen Nelson do here? I think she's going to have to go for the corner.
Yeah, Raducanu penalised there, and again, just Nelson stepping up in the leader's role here.
The kick's a good one from Nelson. Scotland about 5 metres out. The line-out has been a mixed bag for Scotland so far today. Ellis Martin, big opportunity for her. Another hooker for Scotland who likes a try. She'll want to get this ball back, stick it up her jumper and go over the try line if she can. Malcolm collects the heave, goes, but Scotland, the maul collapses almost immediately and Mattinson has to dig for it. She's not come out with it. The forwards keeping hold of it at the moment. And driven backwards by Italy. Just a telegraphed move there. Sarah Bonner carrying and releasing. McLachlan. Scotland trying to take it towards the posts. Can they find another way through? A third try, they go wide now. Lisa Thompson, turfed backwards. Penalty advantage coming Scotland's way. Rachel Malcolm doesn't want the advantage, she just wants the penalty. Nelson with the kick over the top. Stuni Manutsi always looked like gathering that. And now we come all the way back. Scotland need to find a try to keep their hopes of a win alive here.
Yeah, I think they're just checking for blood just now.
It's Emma Stevanin with the bloody nose as Alex Stewart comes on, replacing Rachel McLachlan for the final 10 minutes. Alex Stewart, who started every Six Nations game last campaign, in her very first season for Scotland. A hugely impressive young player. Such a workhorse, gets through so much when she's on the pitch. And Scotland will need all that energy and all that enthusiasm if they are to rescue something from this game.
Huge shift there from Rachel McLachlan. You're just talking about her tackle count up to 22 when she came off. So absolutely superb effort, ex-judo champion, and really uses it there and that try on the line for her advantage for Scotland.
It's the Italian fly half, Stevenine receiving treatment. Veronica Madia, the more experienced of the fly halves in Italy's squad, is ready to come on, and that's exactly what's going to happen now. It's the end of Stevenine's day.
Yeah, she's got, this is her 54th cap for Italy. Yeah, has huge experience. Usual starting until WXV starting for Italy, and should be wanting to bring her experience these last 10 minutes.
This is a huge opportunity now for Scotland. They've called for the scrum, which I think they'd be fair to say they've dominated so far today.
I think that's a good call.
Big moment for Scotland and for Molly Pullman. Scotland's latest tight head, just her second cap after impressing in the Celtic Challenge with Edinburgh and with Watsonians. Mattinson feeds. Conkle looking for it at the back. She's going herself. She gives the pass to Thompson. Dragged backward by Ostuni Manuzzi. Scotland yards from that white line. Martin taking it in. Pullman on her shoulder. Mattinson there. Looks for Conkle. Did well to gather. It's been a long shift for Katie Mattinson. She replaced Leah Brebner-Holden really early on in that first half. And now she goes wide. A chance for Rona Lloyd on the outside, but she has to dance back in. Mattinson to Malcolm. 10 minutes remaining for Scotland now. The crowd willing them towards that line. Sarah Bonner taking it in. Becky Boyd, her 14th carry of the afternoon, but she's dragged backwards by Sarah Manini, the 19-year-old, but Pullman almost found a gap. Tight head prop almost on the loose. Sarah Bonner wrapped at the ankles. Italy answering every question that Scotland have to throw at them. Almost a line break there. Amy Barrett-Theron not happy.
She's ripped it forward.
And we're going back.
Yeah,
knock on
here, yep. Yeah, it's just Scotland are just running into a brick wall of Italians at the moment. Just feel like once they've sucked them in, I think they've just got to use the outside backs. But certainly it's tremendous defence from the Italians there.
Well, I thought Rona Lloyd might have been away there. I think when she pins her ears back, she's hard to stop.
Yeah, it was a great long pass out to her on that right flank. The MOR just eager to get her hands on the ball. Only 5 carries today, so they're looking to see if she can get her hands on the ball.
Of course, she scored that opportunistic try in Parma as Scotland went on to that historic victory in last year's Six Nations, her first win on Italian soil, I think, since 1999. And the ball pops right back out the scrum.
Yeah, so it came out the tunnel, but I'm going to ask you two on this side.
Sylvia Turani.
Okay. Let's form up.
Asking Amy Barrett-Theron what the script is.
Let's go, please. Come on, Steady. 6.
Mattinson with the feed. That scrum not going anywhere at the moment. Jade Conkle reaching in for it. Gets it back to Mattinson. Scotland will go through the backs. Mattinson out to Rowley. Into the hands of Fran McGee. She holds off one. And she's held up. Scotland, it just wasn't clean enough. Mattinson has it now. The Hive on its feet. Alex Stewart wrestling for the ball. Mattinson had to leave it. Conkle picking up. Inches away now for Scotland. Bartlett burrowing for it. We've said she likes a try. I think she's going to be held short. Scotland, can they do it? Can they get a way back into this match? Mattinson to McGee, dancing! Fran McGee with a fancy footwork, and Scotland are right back in this now. They eventually get it wide, and it's Fran McGee, a former nominee for the Breakthrough Player of the Year, and she's given Scotland a real breakthrough here.
Absolutely, she was just desperate for that ball. We're just saying that it was on out wide. They repelled the first wave, but she managed to get that one. She's such a strong runner. She's had to be so patient today, but there's opportunities going to come up, especially with a strong scrum like that and the patience from the forwards.
And that try sets us up for a grandstand finish. Big kick though for Helen Nelson. She can make it a 1 point gap if she gets this over, but it's a tricky one for her.
I can't speak to you, sorry. I can't speak to you.
And she just slices it past the post. A big miss for Helen Nelson. 3 points Scotland trail by with just over 5 minutes remaining. You could tell as soon as she kicked it, she just wasn't happy with it. A change for Scotland now as Adele Ferry takes to the pitch. I think that's in place of someone in the back row. It's Rachel Malcolm who's gone off.
She took a note just on the line just before the try.
Scotland losing their captain for the final few stages. Katie Mattinson fields the restart and puts it straight into the hands of Osturi Minuzzi. Well, we know what she can do. Emma Orr with a vital tackle. Scotland haven't restarted well in this game, it's fair to say. They need to try and get out of their own half, get hands on ball, and they've only got less than 5 minutes to do it. At times they've relied on Italian handling errors to get that ball back. And it needs a mammoth effort from them. A penalty won't be enough now. They'll want that try, that bonus point try. But it's Italy who are charging forward. Stefan Tarragoni finds a gap. Mattinson brings her down. Italy into the 22-metre. Chloe Rowley thought she was in there for a turnover, but instead it's Italy where they want to be. With just over 4 minutes, the advantage coming to Italy. Right in front of the posts. And after they worked so hard for that Francesca McGee try, this might be the moment that Scotland really lose this game.
Yeah, that's really tough there for Scotland. But again, that pressure from Italy just from the restart. Just those hard carries. Tunese, Scorbini.
That will be a scrum to Italy. But we know what they can do from this distance. Beatrice Rigoni, the number 12 in the scrum cap, conducting things for Italy, setting up that all-important fourth try. That fourth try, which looks like it might be the winner. Just over 3 minutes left for Scotland to find something. The scrum is steady. Stefan takes it forward. Medea taking it up to the 5. This is going to need something magic now.
You need to call someone else, Chelsea.
Stefan goes for the blind side. Rona Lloyd had to make that tackle. She didn't, and Italy are over again. Oh, Ramuzzo with her 2nd of the day, a 5th of the day for Italy. Game, set and match. The Italians are going to win on Scottish soil once more.
Again, it's Stefan, she's masterminded everything. Ostuni Manuzzi just not missed a ball today. Look at that, just creating, forcing Lloyd to come off her line. And the overlap there, Muzzo scoring for her 2nd try and the 5th for Italy today.
Well, Italy are surely going to get their 1st win of the 2025 Guinness Women's Six Nations. Beatrice Rigoni. Well, the kick from Rigoni goes wide. It's an 8-point gap. There's a couple of Italy changes to bring you in just a second, but I think first we've got to award the player of the match.
The Guinness Women's Six Nations player of the match today is Aura Muzzo. There's a few contenders today from both sides. Excellent play in the forwards, Tunese, Sara Tunese, and the back 3 for Italy all getting on the score sheet. But for her 2 tries today is number 14, Aura Muzzo.
Just the day after her 28th birthday, she's had the game of her life. The entire Italy back 3 has been so dangerous, but there she is, Aura Muzzo, our player of the match.
133 metres made, and just those 2 tries, just that sealing the deal for Italy when it really mattered. Ostuni Manuzzi, her partner in crime, probably just a wee bit more in the metres, but 2 tries for Muzzo.
After losing the last 2, Italy are going to get back to winning ways against Scotland. But can the hosts finish with a flourish? They're on the halfway line with the clock about to go red. But a bonus point try and a losing bonus point wouldn't hurt. Nelson to Rowley. Beatrice Rigoni flattens her. Pullman, player with a big future for Scotland, only 20 years old. They say tight heads are learning until the day they retire. She's got a lot of learning to do, Molly Pullman.
Yeah, huge talent though. Really has come through right from played under 18.
And there's the knock-on from Scotland that confirms the win for Italy. It was back and forth on the scoreline until the final few moments where Aura Muzzo went over for her 2nd try, Italy's 5th of the game, and sealed a fantastic win for Fabio Roselli's side. They were absolutely relentless today, didn't allow Scotland to breathe at all. Whenever the hosts went ahead, Italy clawed them straight back and then went ahead. Full time at the Hive Stadium in Edinburgh. Scotland 17, Italy 25. Well, Heather, a tough one to take for Scotland, but just how good were Italy today?
I think probably the turning point was at the beginning of the second half.